A winter's hush fell upon the land. The morning light was just beginning to touch the snow. It was a beautiful, crisp day. The air was still and silent. A thin layer of frost covered everything. It sparkled like a million tiny diamonds. Keegan peered out his bedroom window. He smiled. In his mind's eye, he could see it, his backyard transformed. It would become a magical winter wonderland. He dreamed of a gleaming sheet of ice. He could almost hear the happy sounds of laughter and skating. Keegan had always wanted a backyard ice rink. This year, he was determined to make his dream a reality. Keegan grabbed his warmest coat and hat. He raced downstairs. He was excited to tell his family about his plan. He knew it would be a lot of work, but he was sure it would be worth it. He could already imagine the fun they would have. He thought about the memories they would make. This would be the best winter ever. Keegan's dad was already at the kitchen table. He was drinking his coffee. Steam rose from his mug. He listened patiently as Keegan shared his plan. Keegan's eyes sparkled with excitement. He described his vision for the perfect ice rink. Keegan's dad smiled. He loved his son's enthusiasm. He too had fond memories of skating as a child. He knew it would be a great project for them to do together. It would teach Keegan the value of hard work, and of course it would be a lot of fun. They spent the next hour going over the logistics. They talked about the size and location of the rink. They discussed the materials they would need. Keegan's dad pulled out a notepad. He started sketching a rough plan. It wouldn't be fancy, but it would be perfect. The first flakes of snow began to fall. They danced lightly in the air. To Keegan, it felt like the universe was cheering them on. He and his dad gathered the materials. They needed wood for the frame, a tarp, and lots of water. Keegan's little sister, Madison, wanted to help too. She was small, but she was full of energy. She helped carry the smaller tools. She handed her dad nails while he worked. Keegan laughed as Madison tried to roll the heavy tarp. It was almost as big as she was. Together, they worked tirelessly. They measured and sawed. They hammered and lifted. Slowly but surely, the frame of the rink began to take shape. Each successful step fueled their excitement. They were building something special. They were building a winter wonderland. The air was filled with the sound of hammers and laughter. Keegan and Madison worked side by side. They carefully unrolled the heavy tarp. They spread it out inside the wooden frame. Madison giggled as the tarp flapped in the wind. She imagined it was a giant kite trying to fly away. Keegan secured the tarp with nails and staples. He showed Madison how to pull it tight. He wanted a smooth, even surface for their ice rink. They worked carefully, making sure there were no wrinkles or air pockets. They knew a smooth tarp meant smoother ice. As they worked, Keegan told Madison stories about famous hockey players. He described incredible goals and daring saves. He fueled her imagination with tales of winter games. Madison listened in awe. She couldn't wait to skate on their very own ice. Word of Keegan's ice rink spread quickly through the neighbourhood. Soon, friends and neighbours stopped by to see the progress. Some offered words of encouragement, others brought hot chocolate and cookies. Everyone was excited to see the finished rink. The adults reminisced about their own childhood winters. They told stories of frozen ponds and impromptu hockey games. The children ran and played around the unfinished rink. They too dreamed of the fun to come. Keegan's dad pointed out the different tools they were using. He explained the process of building the rink. The children listened, wide-eyed with fascination. It was more than just building an ice rink. It was building a sense of community. It was bringing everyone together. Finally, the moment arrived. The rink was ready. The tarp was laid out smoothly. The hose was hooked up. All they could do now was wait. Keegan and Madison watched eagerly as the water began to fill the rink. The sun set, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple. The temperature dropped. The water slowly began to freeze. The children's anticipation grew with each passing moment. They could barely contain their excitement. That night, Keegan barely slept. He kept peeking out his window. He was checking on the progress of the ice. The next morning, he raced outside before the sun was even up. A thin layer of ice covered the rink. It was perfect. The news spread like wildfire. The ice is ready! The ice is ready! Soon, the backyard was filled with the joyful sounds of children laughing and playing. Keegan and Madison were the first ones on the ice. They glided effortlessly across the frozen surface. Neighbors joined in on the fun. Some were experienced skaters. They showed off their skills with fancy spins and turns. Others were beginners. They wobbled and laughed as they tried to find their balance. Keegan's dad laced up his old skates. He hadn't been on the ice in years. But as he glided alongside his children, he felt like a kid again. This was more than just an ice rink. It was a gift. It was a gift of shared joy and togetherness. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the ice, the laughter and chatter continued. A warm glow emanated from the windows of Keegan's house. The aroma of hot chocolate filled the air. Exhausted but exhilarated, Keegan watched as his neighbours and friends enjoyed the fruits of their labour. He thought about all the hands that had helped make this dream a reality. He realised that the ice rink wasn't just about skating. It was about community. It was about creating memories that would last a lifetime. The backyard ice rink became a gathering place that winter. It was a place where friends and families came together. It was a place where laughter echoed through the frosty air. And it was all thanks to a young boy with a dream that he made a reality, a dream that brought joy to everyone who stepped onto the ice.